What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is Justin Bozeman. Real quick, doing a real quick video. I kind of had some thoughts. Um, I heard about John Gruden, the coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, getting fired, and apparently he got fired over some emails that came out. Um, some emails that came out that said some things that were supposedly deemed as being racially unsensitive. I have kind of a issue with this because I'm kind of thinking to myself a couple different things, and I come at this from a different perspective. Apparently, there was a lot of emails that were investigated from the Washington football team, and my question that I have is this: somebody, it seems like somebody specifically set out with the purpose of finding dirt on somebody to make somebody angry to get him out of there, because I can't think that he's the only person who would send some sort of email that we're supposed to keep where I say this, we're supposed to find this racially insensitive. My question that I have is this: where is the full doc of emails? Can we see the full transcript in context for all the emails? Can we see everything that he was sending back and forth to somebody? Can we see the context of it? Because in the story that, and the way that's being reported, it's being reported, the media claims and says what they are. The media says that they're racist, so people are just going with it that it's racist. People say that it's misogynistic, so people are just going along with it saying that it's misogynistic. But why does the media get to define what is racist and what is misogynistic? And yes, I read the supposed email that you said about I think his name is Damaris Smith or whatever. And to be honest, I'm not as outraged as every other black person, I guess, who's in the woke media, because I hear comedians make jokes about black people in our features all the time. Other black comedians do it all the time, but I guess it's a thing where uh, white people can't say anything about any black person's features without being branded a racist. So, and I guess that when they say something, we're supposed to just get mad. And for me, this screams of the media intentionally trying to get people riled up. Like, it's like the media wants to get people mad and angry and upset over stuff. And it's like, I'm just not going for it. I'm not angry at a guy's emails for saying this and for saying that. And I think it's easy to brand somebody a racist, but I think the only reason why this man's being branded a racist, John Gruden, is because the media says so. So I would love to hear from a journalist about whether or not a journalist is supposed to put his opinion on what he thought the emails read, because it's like this reminds me of let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. There was a man who was a tennis commentator. I think his name is Doug Adler. And he said something during one of, I think it was Venus Williams's match or Serena Williams's match. And he talked about how she was employing the gorilla tactic. Now, the gorilla tactic is uh, something that, if you're familiar with this, it used to be a commercial, I think between Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras in the 90s. And the name of the commercial was Gorilla Tactics. And it's not Gorilla. It's not gorilla like the animal gorilla. I think it's gorilla like GUE or something like that. I think it's a different spelling. And so he said she's using guerrilla tactics, and then somebody in the media said that what he said was racist. Meanwhile, there was no racial thing about it. He was talking about guerrilla tactics, which is an entirely different spelling. And instead, the media took it and they spun it as this man was a racist. And then he was told by ESPN that he had to apologize for his comments and apologize for this, apologize for that. And he was told to do this and do that. And then all of a sudden he didn't want to, but then he apologizes and then they fire him. And come to find out, he was using an entirely different word, gorilla, but because the person perceived that what he was saying was racist, then he's branded a racist by the journalist. And I think that this is what's happening here. And I think that we need to be careful because they're using this. They're going to use this email story because nobody's going to ask the question of, well, how come his emails are the only ones who are being read and being looked into? There's other people whose emails are probably need to come out if you're really looking for dirt. But I think we need to be really, really careful about allowing the media to define for us what is racist and what's not. Because the media oftentimes, I think they want to spin this so that they have a story. I think they want to spin it so that they just have a story. And I think that when they spin it so that they have a story, I think what it does is it keeps the ratings up. And I think, unfortunately for John Gruden, even though what he said was probably dumb, he resigned and now he's gone, and they want to get rid of him for something that he said over 10 years ago. 10 years ago, this man said this, and you want to come back and you want to fire him now. And so I think it's very dangerous to start going back and looking at people's past to find stuff that they said so that you can come to a conclusion to brand them something. I think that's very dangerous. And I think that if Black people are going to be the ones going in for this type of mob mentality, I think we need to be very careful, because I think when you have that high standard of a judgment, that means that anything that you said or did the last 10, 15, 20 years that can be branded as insensitive by somebody who's in a position to be able to define what you said and define why you said it and define the context of why you said it. I think it's very dangerous. So I think this is a witch hunt. I think this is fake outrage. I think it's fake outrage when you're always looking for stuff to be mad about because somebody said this or said that. Oh, he said this, he said that, he must be a racist, he's this, he's that. I think it's fake. I think all that outrage over this is fake. I think the outrage over John Gruden and these emails is fake outrage. I don't even think that it's justified. And if people want to keep going along with this narrative and this mob mentality, where does it stop? Is it going to stop with you? I mean, is it going to stop with your friends, with your family? Are we going to pick through everybody's life with a fine-tooth comb? And when somebody doesn't like you, because this is what this was. Somebody obviously doesn't like John Gruden. Somebody obviously in the media or in the NFL offices doesn't like John Gruden. So they decided to find a way to ruin or try to ruin this man's career and get rid of him. That's what it is. So when you empower the media to be able to define stuff like this and paint people in these narratives, be very careful. I think you should be very careful, because it's going to have a way of coming back to bite you in the backside. Last and not least, it's funny that I can't find the full transcript of this email anywhere. Apparently the email said something about Maurice Smith having lips the size of Michelin tires, which I'm like, I think that's quite clever. You know, if he was a comedian, I think I'd laugh. I think I'd laugh if I was a comedian, if this was a comedy special. But he says this, and they say that he also said, and this is the quote from the media, misogynistic things in his emails. And the question that I've been asking, and I can't find anywhere, maybe somebody who's watching live can give me a link. I cannot find the full email transcripts of this anywhere. I cannot find the transcripts that give you the full email in its full context, which I think that's what I want to see. I want to see the emails that are supposedly misogynistic and racist in their full context. Because what the media branded it as, they just said, "Oh, he's just racist," and I'm like, "Well, why does the media get to interpret what he says? Why don't they just report on what he said? Why don't they just report and just put the transcript out and say, hey, this is what the transcript says?" But I have a sneaking suspicion that we will never see the full transcripts, but they'll release it to select members of the media who will be allowed to write about it and to interpret what they've seen as whatever it is that they want to see. And we're supposed to go by what their opinion was of it and therefore be outraged. I'm just telling y'all this. I'm not going for that. I'm not outraged. This is more media trickery, more media foolishness. We're going to talk more about this as the story develops, because I'm sure some more facts will come out. Hopefully the full transcripts do come out. And when they do, I'll read them on the next Uncle Tom show. But until next time, I just wanted to put this out here because I'm kind of bothered by this story. I'm bothered by the fact that he had to resign based on mob media. And I'm sick of mob rule and cancel culture and all that other stuff. It's just getting out of hand. So I know people are like, why are you defending what this white man said about this, about another black man? And it's like, I'm not defending what he said. What I'm asking is, why can't we read it for ourselves and then interpret it for ourselves? Why does the media have to interpret it for us? That's all I'm asking. So if you have a link to the full transcripts that I haven't been able to find, please post them for me in the comment section. Please like, please subscribe. And until something else big happens,